was the Canadian Nightingale? And why should we care? In opera, a nightingale is a soprano singer whose voice can soar up to the highest notes like a songbird. To begin where I began, on a Sunday afternoon in December 1924, my great-aunt Margaret went to a concert at the Warsaw Philharmonic. Later, she wrote home to her friends. There was a ripping orchestra and an English singer, Bertha Crawford, very Italian in style. She did wonderful things with her voice and chose mainly operatic things, or songs with heaps of trills and cascades of notes. After I read this letter a few years ago, I Googled Bertha Crawford. The first hit was a 1937 obituary from the New York Times, which revealed that in fact Bertha was a Canadian who sang for years in Russia and Poland. Further down the page was a link to an entry in the Canadian Encyclopedia of Music, but it was only 4 sentences. I felt I had found a few random pieces of a puzzle. My curiosity was piqued. Surely there was more to her story than that. And so I started researching, and one by one, the pieces fell into place. Bertha's life was filled with remarkable twists and turns. In the fall of 1907, she won the job of soprano soloist at Toronto's biggest church, the Metropolitan Methodist Church on Queen Street. She toured in the US and across Canada, studied in London and Italy, and became the toast of the town in St. Petersburg, Russia during World War I, then escaped the revolution to even greater success in Warsaw, Poland, and eventually became engaged to a Polish count. And everywhere she went, Bertha took her Brussels Griffon dogs with her. For the past 5 years, I have been putting back together the pieces of the puzzle that was Bertha Crawford's life. I have now completed a full-length biography, with dramatized vignettes interleaved between chapters of traditional historical biography. The Canadian Nightingale recreates the untold story of an ambitious young woman from small-town Ontario who rose to unprecedented success on the opera stages of Russia and Poland, only to be forgotten for 80 years. The book is written and it's ready for publication. A number of traditional Canadian publishers have declined this book. They don't think enough Canadians will be interested in this lost piece of Canadian musical history. I think they're wrong. I think there are a lot of Canadians who care about our cultural heritage, and just as many feel strongly about women's history. If you want to help revive this lost story, this is your opportunity to pre-order your copy of the book. I hope you will join me in restoring the voice of a lost piece of Canadian musical history. Thank you for your interest in my project.